live at the Hewlett Arena in Birmingham for the Giants Live Strongman Open featuring the Mutant Deadlift Championship. We have got an epic show, Terry, absolutely epic. Not only 5 events, but 6 events, having that max deadlift there with some incredible numbers we're going to see pulled and potentially some records as well. And we've got 12 athletes from all around the world battling out for that gold to take home, but also 2 additional athletes also going in for the records on the deadlift. Let's have a chat about this show because it is absolutely stacked from the events to the athletes.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Obviously, you just touched on it there. That we got the Mutant Deadlift World Championships first. So many guys looking at national records, area records, masters records, and potentially a world record as well, hopefully. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We've got Raul Flores coming into it, just doing the deadlift. We've got Rauno Heinler as well, just doing the deadlift. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. We've got Evan Singleton looking to carry on his rich vein of form and potentially win the whole show. It's going to be a hell of a battle today, and I couldn't be more excited for it.
It is going to be absolutely amazing. And just obviously to start it off, we've got that deadlift. And we're looking to see a 510 kilo deadlift today, potentially. And we've already seen Thor do 505, and it didn't look that difficult.
No.
What are you thinking? Gav built in there as well, guys, on the deadlift. But what are we thinking about that 510, Terry?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've spoken a lot about it over the last few weeks. 505 on the night when Thor did that, he had to adjust his technique to what he normally does.
Yeah.
And I think that shows how much of a good athlete he is, the fact that he can change and adapt on the spot and still pull a world record.
Yeah.
So the fact that the conditions are probably going to be better tonight than they were then, I'm pretty certain that we're going to see a world record.
Yeah, and like you said, we've got so many athletes from all over the world. We've got Tristan Hoth there as well. You know, this is Austin Andrade, you can see warming up the deadlift as well. It's really hard one to call. Like, we can kind of see who the top deadlifters are here, but that's not the only event that's in this competition. There's a lot of moving events, and it is 6 events in such a short space of time. You've done these shows, Terry, adding that extra one on there after a max deadlift.
Yeah.
How are these athletes going to, you know, manage this?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, but for someone like, for an example, you've got a Luke Stoltman, who's perhaps not the best deadlifter in this lineup. For someone like him, actually having that extra event is a good thing because he's now got 5 events that he can pull back on rather than just 4.
Yep.
If he had a deadlift and then 4 events, obviously it's a bit of a struggle to catch those points back up. With that extra event, you know, someone like Luke's now not out of contention for the whole show, which I think is fantastic. And yeah, I mean, obviously the guys are going to be fatigued. These Giants Live shows are so fast-paced. It's so tough for the guys. So hopefully, you know, we're going to see some amazing things happen tonight. It
is going to be amazing. And speaking of amazing, we're going to bring in our first guest here of the evening, Mr. Darren Sadler. Cup your headphones on there for us, Darren. Thank you for coming in. So I know you're a busy guy, but want to have a quick chat about this amazing deadlift that we're potentially going to witness tonight. Like, we've got the Mutant Deadlift Championship, you know, part of Giants Live Strongman Open. How are you feeling about the show?
I mean, took a lot of getting ready and a lot of getting together, but yeah, I'm feeling positive now. We're here, everything's ready. But that's like any show, you know. There's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. There's probably 50 people all doing the job, and everyone's got to do the job right. But yeah, we're here. We feel organised. The athletes look great and positive. I feel a bit underdressed next to Terry. That's the only thing with his posh suit on.
He's up this
I just had to make an effort, you know. Now Bad Rhino are sponsoring one of the events. I thought I'd get one of their suits on.
Yeah, looks great, mate. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to hook me up with one, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. No, everyone's excited. It's going to be a great spectacle, I think. There's a lot of competitions within the competition. We've got Matt Ragg wanting to do 470, which would take a new New Zealand record.
Yep.
Obviously, we've got Ralno wanting to do the Masters, which is absolutely insane that would be 480.
Yeah.
So that would equal the 3rd biggest lift of a person ever, if you like.
Yep.
And we've got Gav Bilton wanting to do the Welsh record, which I think he's got every chance looking at his 100%. Training.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got the new guy who just sort of come out of nowhere, Raul Flores. And who knows really? I think he's very untapped, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he'll do. He did 480 literally 2 weeks ago, which I think he sort of regrets doing. But I said to him, well, that's why you got your invite. You know, we saw it and was like, wow.
Amazing.
we need to get him here.
The one thing he's got is a little bit of an advantage. Not that it's an advantage, but he's only young, so he might recover that bit faster. Yeah. And obviously his progression's been massive over the last few months. I'm excited to see him tonight. I think he's definitely it's great to have a new face, especially someone that's coming into the sport so strong.
Yeah, and it also depends how the bright lights, of Giants Live. It sounds a bit corny, but how that affects him. I mean, some people it brings the best out of him, some people the worst. So it depends how his nerves are. He looks honestly a bit like a fish out of water, but we're really trying to look after him backstage. He speaks no English.
Yeah.
He's such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
But it's really nice, good to see, because all the other strongmen have really sort of taken him under the wing. So yeah, it's going to be great, and whatever he does, I think it's going to be impressive.
Yeah.
Even if he does 470, 480 again, I think that's impressive for a 24-year-old guy. Literally 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know who he was. I don't know whether you guys did. I didn't.
Oh. No, but speaking about impressive, though, I think you touched on this on the podcast. Like, the opening lift is 400 kilos.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago, that's like your best deadlifters were lifting 400 kilos. And now that's the easy opening lift.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, right?
Well, I remember me and Terry doing a competition in London at Giants Live in 2011. I pulled 400. I think you pulled something like 430.
Yeah, maybe 420, something like that.
But it was like a massive deal.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, Jesus, I know everyone that can pull 400.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like 400. People have forgotten how heavy 400 is, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that, 2011 World's Strongest Man. I think we had 6 of the finalists, 6 of the top 10 pulled over 400, and everyone was blown away by it.
Yeah.
Six of the guys, over half the guys pulled over 400. Everyone was amazed. Now it's the opening lift. It's crazy.
And I would be very surprised if over half the field are definitely going to do £1,000.
Yeah.
Which is 454 nearly. I can't see half the field not doing that. Probably more, probably 3/4 of the field.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's going to be crazy. So yeah, looking forward to it. And then we've got the rest of the show as well. Obviously, got some great events.
What would Eddie Williams? Would he be going for an Australian record as well?
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, he wants to do £1,000, but we need to find out whether that is a record or not. So that would
we'll
definitely want to look into. Yeah,
we'll look into that. But
Brilliant.
going after that max deadlift, then, how are these guys going to then do an extra event? Because essentially it's an extra event in there because we've got the 6 events.
Yeah.
And it's a fast show. We've spoken about this before. Giants Live is a fast show. How do you think these guys are feeling with that extra event?
I mean, it's obviously difficult. Strongman is difficult.
Yeah.
We have got a fast-paced show because you've got a live crowd, so that goes without saying as well. But I think the guys condition themselves to it. If you look at someone like Luke Stoltman, he's now better at our shows than he's ever been because he's dropped a bit of body weight, he's lean, he's fit, and he'll get right to the end. And I think, to be quite honest with you, when you get to this last event, which is going to be power stairs, that's when you'll see who's got the fitness.
Yeah.
So I think some of the guys that might do a massive deadlift and have really come in heavy to do that might suffer at the end. But, it depends what's more important to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hap thought the deadlift's more important to him.
Of course it is, yeah.
Whether that body weight's going to affect him for the rest of the events, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, if you've got a baseline deadlift over 500 kilos, I sort of assume everything else is going to feel light,
I actually got asked that, how do you think Thor's going to do in the rest of the show, being that he's been peaking for a max strength event. The thing is, Thor's a sort of freaky athlete out there. He's just a special kind of athlete that he can get away with it. And like you said, when you're doing power stairs and the heaviest object's 250 kilos, when you can deadlift 500 kilos plus, it's like
less than half your deadlift.
Yeah, you're working in the power range rather than the sort of strength ranges.
That was my theory, but I suppose when you're tired, you're tired. So we'll see. But the good thing is about this show, the power stairs are relatively heavy. The press is medium weight, of 150 kilo Viking press. There's a couple of sort of fast events, so it's really going to test whoever wins it. Has got strength and staying power, which is what these shows are all about.
Well, you've done a great job of picking the events that it literally tests everything as it always does. There's no you can't have a weak link and get away with it in a show like this. You've got to be good at everything, and I think that's what we're looking at really. It's strength, stamina. Yeah.
But let's be honest, if you can get a show where you've got these great events, so you're testing the strength, the cardiovascular, and someone pulling 5'10", what more could you want out of a competition?
100%.
It's got everything it needs to have. So let's just see. Let's get these guys warmed up and get the show on the road.
Get going. Well, thank you very much, Dan, for taking the time to come and speak to us.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
have a great show. Yeah, Terry, I think that Darren's right. You know, Strongman isn't just about strength now. Obviously, we want to find out who the strongest in the world is. We want to see those, you know, really phenomenal lifts. However, it's not just about that anymore. We want to see, can you recover well? Can you get moving really well? You know, have you worked on that conditioning? Like we said, Luke Stoltman has really turned around from when he first started competing, you know, within Giants Live, and it's doable as he's an older guy, and he's shown that, you know, you can come in and you can change that conditioning and really move with the times with Strongman.
Yeah, and I mean, this has always been the way. There's been times like it's sort of the fashions and the trends in strongman sort of change in and out. Sometimes they're more endurance and speed based, sometimes they're more strength based, and I feel like it's a good balance at the moment. You've got a max deadlift, but then you've got some events that are not crazy heavy as well, so you're getting a good blend of all of it. So all of the athletes sort of essentially, you know, with their strengths, they have a moment to shine. But the other good thing is with it as well is, like, you know, you are literally testing every area and every aspect. Strongman is not just about, although it sounds a bit weird me saying this, strongman is not just about who's the strongest person. It's who's the best strongman.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way it's actually always been. But, you know, getting stronger is great for the sport, obviously, but it's not just about that. You can become a better strongman without actually getting any stronger, just by getting better events, working on your conditioning, working on your athleticism, your speed, stuff like that. So I think this is a great test, and obviously we're going to see some guys sort of moving up and down the ranks from event to event as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And speaking about strength, you see there, the Mountain himself, Thor, how good is it to see him back in competition? Like, I'm super excited. I have seen... have I seen Thor compete before? I don't think I have.
Rogue, maybe?
Yes, sorry, I have a Rogue, but in Giants Live, I've never seen, you know, Thor compete. So I'm super, super excited to see what he can do. Obviously, the deadlift is going to be absolutely phenomenal, but I'm actually really looking forward to seeing him do all the other events as well. Yeah,
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to compete with Thor many times over the years, and, you know, he is an amazing athlete, as well as being very large, very big, you know, very strong. He has all those attributes, but he's an incredible athlete as well. He can move really well. He's very coordinated. You know, he's kind of got all the attributes to be a good strongman. He's literally, if you could build a strongman, go like, this is what a strongman should be. He is that, because he does have everything. And I think it's fantastic to be back. Like I said, I mean, I've competed with him many times. He's an amazing athlete and super competitor as well. And it's great to see him back. And I think it's just nice to see him back in front of a huge crowd, doing big lifts when there's like 8,000 people here. You know, it's going to be amazing. The crowd's going to go nuts.
Oh, they definitely are. They're going to be... It's going to be one happy crowd, and you guys at home as well. And we've seen Paddy Haynes there getting warmed up. Got Matt Ragg there. We've got big deadlifters here. So although, you know, Thor's going for that top number of 5'10", we're going to see some amazing deadlifts. But let's move on, because we've not only got the deadlift, we've also got your farmer's walk, we've got your sandbag steeplechase, we've got the hammer hold. We haven't seen that for a while, Terry.
No.
And you've got your Viking press, and then finishing off with those amazing power stairs. But let's talk about the hammer hold, because that seems a pretty brutal event. Although so simple, you're just holding this object in front of you. You know, it takes some determination to keep that up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. And obviously, the refs are going to be very strict with the way it's done. It's got to be at full arm's length, one hand on top of the other. There's going to be no, like, leaning the hammer back to try and make it easier for yourself. Top of the hammer has to be at sort of eye level. You know, so there's a lot of rules involved, but it's going to be really tough for the guys. I mean, it's one of those events where you sort of, even if you're good at it, you don't enjoy doing it because you're just sitting there just suffering. But... I mean, I think it's a nice event for the guys in terms of, one thing I would say, having a max deadlift and a hammer hold in the same competition is kind of a nice balance, because obviously it's not going to fry their backs too much. It's all just sort of shoulders and things like that. So I think that's a good complement in terms of the two events together.
100%.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the guys, obviously, like Luke Stoltman's, Austin Andrade, I'd imagine is really good at it. The guys with real strong shoulders tend to do really well on it.
Yeah, so... Also, the longer the arms, it's going to be more difficult. So Paddy Haynes is maybe going to struggle here because he's got such long arms.
Yeah.
That's going to be a struggle. The further away it is, it's harder, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always suffered. I've got extremely long arms, even for a man of my height. My wingspan's far longer than what my height is. And, I always struggled really bad. I mean, but then you've got guys like Thor that are good at it. But I think it's just he's got so much mass and so much strength in his actual shoulder muscles that he kind of gets away with it a little bit. But you do tend to find guys like Austin that are built sort of real big chest, thick chest, big strong shoulders. because you can even sort of like sit your arms on top of your chest a little bit. So guys that are built that way do tend to be very good at it.
Very good. So let's go back. So farmer's walk is what it's going to be after the deadlift. So obviously that's a lot of posterior chain as well. You've got to pick up, you've got to move with it. How are they going to be, how do you think they're going to feel going after that max lift and then going into that event? They're not really going to need much warm-up.
No.
They're going to kind of be ready for that. But how do you think? Do you think we're going to see the same standard after having a max deadlift?
I mean, it's going to be tough. There's no doubt about that. You know, all their back's going to be pretty fried after the deadlift, especially like for some of the guys, you know, they might say pull 440 or 455, and it's a good, comfortable, solid lift, but they know they're not going to get the next one.
Yeah.
If they don't have to go to one, like do one of those lifts where they really go to the well, then they're probably going to fare a little bit better in the farmers. But if they're doing a big lift where they've really got to dig in deep and give it everything to get it, then go out and do the farmers, it's going to be extremely hard for them.
100%, yeah.
One thing I would say is, I mean, these farmers are extremely awkward as well. They've got really thin handles. I've used them many times over the years. They tear your hands up if you're not careful.
Okay.
It is going to be tough for the guys. But obviously, you know, we've got the best guys in the world here, so you got to make it tough for them.
We've got to make it hard, Terry.
Yeah.
You know, we want to see, you know, you to succeed, but we also want to be hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. And then you've got the steeplechase. Now, that is a brutal event in itself. But then after, again, all that's a very posterior chain. You're using that legs, that hamstrings, that back to pick it up, and then you've got to move with it. Yeah, and it's not light bags. 140 kilos on that bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. And I mean, so in the past, Britain's Strongest Man, they did 3 objects. It was 10 metres each thing, like 10 metres, then the steeple, and then 10 metres.
Yep.
They did 3 bags. Then they've experimented with 2 bags, 10 metres and 10 metres. So we're going 2 bags, 15 metre over the steeple, then 15 metres load on the platform twice, essentially. So it's sort of in the middle of the two. It's not, you know, it's like they've made it a bit longer distance. And I think that that's probably the right amount. I think the 3 bags at Britain's Strongest Man was a little bit too much for the guys from a sort of cardio standpoint. But I think the 2 wasn't enough, so it's only 20 metres. So this is perfect. I think you need an element of conditioning, obviously, but also you do need to have the strength to be able to move 140 kilo sandbags, which, was it 140 or 150?
140.
Yeah.
2 140 bags. But you've also mentally got to have that capacity as well, because you are going to be tired. There's not getting away from that. It is an exhausting event in itself, but being the third one in, you have to, you know, don't let your mind take over and drop that bag, because that's so easy to do, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's an extremely tough event. Like you said, mentally it is tough, especially when you're getting towards the end of that second bag. You've really got to dig deep. You do a bit of soul searching while you're doing it. So
I can do this.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be interesting. And like you said, I mean, even just the loading it on the platform, just them potentially, some of them being a little bit down on power after the deadlift for max, that could be an extremely tough event. Just as they're loading those last bag, and you know, the last couple of loads could be really tough for them.
Yeah, we've spoke about the hammer hold, so then after that it is the Viking press, which is 150 kilos, 60 seconds. And, you know, with the Viking press, it's not, you can't lower it down. Once you've got it up into that position, you have to keep it there. That alone is exhausting, 150 kilos, holding that there, a lot of pressure onto the biceps and shoulders, and then you've just got to keep repping it out from there. Now, we've seen massive reps from a lot of the guys in the past. How are they going to feel going into that after the hammer hold?
Yeah,
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, again, we could be down on reps a little bit, but obviously the strongest guy's still going to win. If everyone's a little bit fatigued from the hammer hold, it kind of doesn't matter.
It's going to be equal.
It just balances it out.
Yeah.
But one thing, it's not like some Viking presses in the past, you could put them down, rest. This one, you got one shot at it. So once you've lifted it off the rack, you've just got to keep pressing, and once it goes back down again, you're done. So it's going to be tough for them. There's no resting. It's literally just a one shot at it. But, you know, we've got some good presses in here. We've got Luke Stoltman, we've got Evan Singleton. You know, even Fours pressings on that type of thing is pretty good. I'm really interested to see how Paddy does, because I know he's been known that his pressing is not extremely strong in the past, but I do feel like Viking could be the best one for him. He's very explosive, uses a good leg drive, so I feel like that could be a good pressing event for him.
I agree with that.
Yeah, there's a number of guys. Austin's a great presser as well, so there is some big pressers in here, but Viking press, sometimes technique and explosiveness trumps shoulder power. Yeah. Sometimes.
So you can see Evan Singleton there on our screens. He's just getting himself warmed up for the deadlift. Let's have a little chat about Evan. Obviously, he's been doing absolutely amazing recently. Just taking Strongest Man on Earth, you know, just recently. He's in a lot of comps, though. Is it,
Yeah.
he looks great shape. He's confident coming into this. He says feels great. But do you think it could maybe fatigue could kick in with this max deadlift after all those events? Or what do you think from a professional strongman point of view?
Certainly. I mean, he's just done a couple of really big shows in Royal Albert Hall, Strongest Man on Earth. Big shows that have taken a lot out of you. And the thing is, no matter how fast you recover, sort of your muscles recover, your central nervous system is still probably going to be pretty fried.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I've done those real, like, big shows in terms of, like, a lot of events, you know, like the Strongest Man on Earth's 8 events over 2 days. I've done shows like that in the past. World's Strongest Man is 3 events a day, you know, 2 days. Multiple day shows are extremely tough. And, you know, maybe 2 weeks after the show, you think, yeah, I feel all right, I feel good. You go in the gym and you're just so weak because you're not actually recovered fully. I do worry that could happen to Evan, but he seems confident. He seems like, you know, mentally he said he feels ready, so we shall see.
And then we're finished off with our power stairs from 200 kilos to 250 kilos. Now, usually we'd expect the best deadlifters to be kind of flying through that, but that is going to be, you know, the last event, and you still have to have that element of fitness as well, because you've got to make your way down there, get it up. It has to be right over. There's a lot of rules to it. It's not just a case of getting up. It's got to be right on. Who do you think stands out for this event?
I mean, I'm going to say that I know Paddy in the past has not been amazing at it when he's done it. I see him doing a lot better now. He has improved a lot since he last did it. I think Adam Bishop could do really well. I do believe if he hasn't got the fastest time on them, he'd be very close to it. I think maybe him and Smorg Stellis are pretty even. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bish is extremely good at power stairs. I know when I've trained with him myself in the past, and I was good at it as well, he is super quick. So if he's not too fatigued from the deadlift and the other events, I see Bish doing really well. You know, Evan again, same thing. Evan's really good. He's going to be strong all the way through. So, and Bryce as well.
I was just going to say, there's so many people, guys, that we've not even really had chance to mention yet. But we've got an absolute stacked lineup today. Like, this is really the best in the world. But it is a Strongman Open, and it is the World Deadlift Championship. You know, so you know we've got Tristan Hoth, we've got Bryce Johnson, we've got Evan Singleton, Paddy Haynes, Austin Andrade. Like the list is endless. It is so stacked. But I feel the more that we do this, Terry, the more I keep saying it's so stacked, because the level of athletes is just increasing so much. Yeah, I mean, it's almost getting to a point where, you know, they could completely change those guys, put in another 12 guys, and you'd still have an incredible lineup. I mean, the strength in depth is unbelievable at the moment. I think that's why it's so hard. You know, everyone's been talking about predictions for the competition. It's so hard to call it because everyone's so good. So if someone's having a slightly good day or someone's having a slightly bad day, it makes a whole world of difference because in all sports, you know, the higher up the levels you go, the margins between everyone get smaller and smaller. So for these guys, you know, they're all so good and so evenly matched. You've only got to be off by 0.5% that day. I know. All of a sudden you go from 1st to 6th place. You know, it's crazy. It's so dramatic. But I mean, I do think that this is incredibly exciting times for the sport because it doesn't almost matter who's in the lineup. You know that you're going to get an amazing show. Yeah, definitely. We'll also have got Mitchell Hooper here. He's not competing, but he is going to be out on the floor, so you're going to get to see him as well. Might even get him on the sports desk later on. So Mitchell Hooper is here, and I believe he's the current Open. Yeah, I think did he win it last year? I think he might. I think he did. Yes, he did. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure, you know, Mitch is not competing and he is the current Strongman Open champion. So it'd be good to have him out there and have his insight on the mic with Neil Pickup out there. So that's going to be absolutely amazing show. But before we go, Terry, before we let these guys have a break before the show starts, who do you think's going to win? Evan Singleton. I'll give you my top 3, actually. Go on then, Terry. So I could be completely wrong on this because, like we said, there's so many good athletes. I'm going to put my neck out and say Evan Singleton wins because he's just too consistent. I have Luke Stoltman in second, which might shock a few, but I think he goes out, pulls a nice, easy 400 deadlift. He's then rested for the rest of the events, and he comes through and delivers on the next 5 events. Okay. And I think Austin Andrade for 3rd place. Okay. Yeah, so I've gone a bit out there. Yes, I like that, though. I think that's what we need. I think I am going to go for, to win, I'm going to say, I'm going to have a look through my list. Evan Singleton. Yeah, I think he is on a roll. He's looking really good. Yeah. His mindset's in the right place. I think I'm going to put Thor second. Yep. Like, I really would love to see him on a podium. First time back, that'd be amazing. And then Paddy
Yeah,
I'm going to say Paddy because he has surprised us, guys.
I mean, he's been great
amazing.
this year. He's had a great year. I mean, the only reason I didn't with 4 is because I feel like when he does that 510 deadlift, which I think he's going to, I'm almost certain he's going to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's going to go have this massive adrenaline dump and be like, you know, kind of, he's not going to be as up for it because, you know,
it's a lot of weight, Terry.
It's such a monumental thing to do. How is he then going to pick himself up for the rest of the show?
Yeah.
I think he's kind of going to be like, you know, it's going to be hard for him.
It's definitely going to be very fatigued. Yeah.
I think there's a couple of dark horses as well. Like,
yes.
I didn't have Paddy in my top 3, but he could do for sure.
Yep.
But Bryce and Tristan have both been on great form. Tristan's just won Canada's Strongest Man. Bryce had a great performance at Strongest Man on Earth and won North America's Strongest Man. So there's a lot of dark horses and things could change in this show.
100%. So, guys, you are in for a lot of excitement tonight, but we are going to take a short break. Thank you for joining us on Warm Up Live, but enjoy the show and we'll see you again real soon.